Realtor would have to do this to these unqualified buyers. You ready? When you come across one of these buyers, and the best way I'm going to describe this right now is if they want to buy and we're using Rosemead for example, what is the average price in Rosemead for the last 7 sales? So we can just work off that. And what is your market?
Newport Beach.
Newport Beach, okay.
Irvine, yeah.
Come on, somebody. You can't go further west than that. But there's could be buyers though that want to buy Newport that they can't buy. Right? I'm sure you get a lot of those. And the same thing, there's probably lots of buyers in Irvine that want to buy in Irvine but can't. Okay? Okay?
Yeah.
All right? So what's the average price there?
It's like 900.
900,000. Okay, so on an A buyer, we're going to say that A buyer, and I hope this doesn't confuse anyone right now, but because I'm changing it right now, okay? The A buyer has an approval right now for $1 million. And their heart is set on buying in Rosemead, nowhere else. Okay? And you could take that same buyer and put them in any marketplace. You find out what the average price point is, and you're getting buyers get a qualified buyer in that market. You can say they're A, but you know that A buyer is going to be harder to convert. You can still convert them. Probably not going to buy in that city, okay? Because what are the odds? You got to have a way to open up this search criteria to give them more options. Don't ever say, why don't we look at other cities because there's only 7 houses on the market in that city or in that particular street. Buyers don't want to hear that. But if you rephrase it like this, hey, why don't we just take a look at the surrounding areas so that way you get an understanding of what the market's doing. Would that be helpful for you, Mr. Buyer? And they say, yeah, I'm open to that. So how many miles would you go around that particular city? How many miles? Minimum is 20 miles. You need to overlap a city or two. Because some cities are so big where if you do 20 miles, it barely covers the entire city. So if it's a big city, then maybe you need to do 40. It's got to overlap a few neighboring cities. Because you need to be in a position of like, here, I'm trying to educate you, Mr. Buyer, to the markets that surround Newport Beach. I want to educate you on the surroundings of Irvine. You guys get this? Okay, because once the client becomes educated in the surrounding cities, you don't have to do much selling at all at that point. They are now going to get educated from the market. Who educates the buyer? The homes that are getting sold. The moment you start telling a buyer like, hey, why don't we look at the neighboring city, you know what happens after that? There's no houses in Rosemead, but why don't we take a look at the neighboring cities? What happens after that? Do you guys get them calling you back up real fast and say, hey, let's go look at those other houses in those neighboring cities, or do they just not call you back? Not call you back. Don't fall into that trap. It's just how you presented it. You guys get this? You present it as, hey, let's just take a look at the market area, what's going on in the market in the surrounding cities so you can see what's out there. Not about selling a house or showing a house yet. So these are what I call like little baby steps. So just imagine, this is step 1. Opening up the market, we're on step 2 now.